The Twilight Registry, Case File 0060. Classification: Precognitive Documentation. Personal. Status: Open. You were not close with your mother. You've been saying that to people since the phone call, to your neighbor, to your boss, to the funeral home coordinator who asked if you had any special requests. You keep saying it because it feels important to establish, because grief is supposed to look a certain way, and yours doesn't look like that. You are not devastated. You are shocked. You are tired. You are driving 4 hours to a house you haven't been inside in 3 years. To pack up a woman you spoke to maybe 6 times in the past 18 months. She died on a Tuesday. Heart failure. She was 67. She had not called her doctor about the pressure in her chest she mentioned to you in August. Or if she had, you didn't know about it. You did not cry when they called. You sat in your kitchen for a long time, and then you washed the dishes. And then you made a list of things you needed to do. You've been making lists your whole life. Your mother used to do the same thing. You find the grocery list on your 3rd day. The first 2 days are practical. You call the utility companies. You call the bank. You sort through her bedroom closet, which takes longer than you expected because she saved everything. Old cards, photographs, the small accumulations of a life lived carefully and alone. You find nothing unusual. You find the particular sadness of ordinary objects. On the 3rd day, you do the kitchen. The 2nd drawer is the junk drawer. Everyone has a junk drawer. Hers has the standard inventory: dead batteries, rubber bands, takeout menus for a pizza place that closed 2 years ago, a small flashlight, 3 pens that probably don't work, a birthday candle, a coupon for a product she stopped buying years before the coupon expired. You are reaching to the back of the drawer to check for anything important when your fingers close around a piece of paper. A grocery list. Her handwriting. The deliberate, slightly slanted print she used for everything practical. The handwriting you watched her write your birthday cards with for 31 years. At the top of the list, milk, 2%. Bread, sourdough if they have it. Dish soap, yogurt, plain, batteries, ABA for the remote, stamp book, enough for the Christmas cards. Advil, called back about the chest pressure. You stand with the list for a moment. The last item makes you feel something complicated. She had written it down. She had intended to follow through. It was on her list. Then you turn the paper over. The back of the list is different. Her handwriting again. The same careful print, but denser, more deliberate, like she had taken her time. At the top she had written in capital letters, "In case this is needed." What follows is her obituary. Not a rough draft, not notes, a complete, clean, edited obituary. Her name, her date of birth, the phrase, "passed away peacefully," followed by a date, 3 weeks from the date she wrote the grocery list, which means 3 weeks before she died, which means she wrote this while she was still alive, while she was still planning to buy sourdough bread and call about her chest pressure. She named her survivors. She named you. She noted your city and your occupation with the specificity of someone who had double-checked her facts. She wrote about her life in the careful, restrained language of newspaper obituaries. She was a long-time resident. She was known for. She will be remembered for. But the details were hers, specifically hers. The particular true things about a person you don't write down unless you know they matter. She described her garden. She mentioned her neighbor by name. She said that she hoped whoever was sad about her would not stay sad for too long, because she had not been particularly interested in people being sad. At the bottom, she had written, "I don't know why I wrote this. I felt like I should. If you find this, I'm sorry for any trouble I've caused." And below that, in smaller letters, as if she'd added it as an afterthought, "Tell your brother I forgave him for the thing he knows about." You don't know what that means. Your brother says he doesn't know what that means. He has been crying for 3 days and says it softly between other sentences, like a question he's asking himself. I don't know what she meant by that. You photograph the list with your phone, both sides. You photograph it 3 times because your hands won't hold still. Then you sit on the kitchen floor. You have been making lists your whole life. You think about the last 3 weeks. You think about what she did with those weeks. Knowing, or not quite knowing, or knowing in the way you know things when your body understands before your mind does. You look for evidence that she arranged things, that she prepared. You go through her papers that afternoon. Methodical, the way she would have done it. She had arranged things. Not dramatically, not in a way that announces itself. But you find a manila envelope in her filing cabinet, unlabeled, filed under M for miscellaneous, that contains her updated will, signed and notarized 7 weeks ago. The deed to the house with your name added as secondary owner. Paperwork dated 6 weeks ago. A handwritten letter to her neighbor, folded, sealed with a strip of tape, with the neighbor's name on the front. A second letter addressed to you. You read yours alone in her kitchen, with the lights on over the table. It is 3 pages long. She writes the way she talked, directly, without a lot of softness, but with a precision that you realize now you have always found more loving than sentiment. She tells you the things she should have told you a long time ago. She apologizes for some of them. She does not apologize for others, and explains briefly why. She says she was not good at being a mother, but she tried to be good at being a person. And she hopes you know the difference. She says, I'm not sure I know what I know exactly. I've been having a feeling for about 2 months now that feels like waiting for a bus you can already see coming. I'm not afraid. I don't want you to be afraid on my behalf. I just wanted to write things down before the bus got here. She says she hopes the bread was still good. You put the letter down. You make yourself a cup of tea with her kettle in her kitchen, using the tea bags from the cabinet where she always kept them. You think about the feeling she described, waiting for a bus you can already see coming. You wonder if it runs in families. You have not told anyone about the grocery list yet. Not the funeral home, not your brother, not the neighbor. You keep it in your coat pocket. When you drive home 3 days later, it is still there. You take it out sometimes. You read both sides. The grocery side is ordinary and small and enormously specific, the way grocery lists are. 2% milk, sourdough if they have it, a stamp book for Christmas cards she would not live to send. The obituary side is exactly right. The dates, the language, the thing about the garden. You checked it against what the funeral home printed, the version you worked on in a grief-soft haze after the phone call. They are nearly identical. She wrote it better. Registry note. This case was submitted by the subject's daughter, who is asked to remain anonymous. She submitted it not because she believes it to be paranormal. She specifically noted that she does not, that she believes her mother had knowledge she hadn't consciously acknowledged and expressed it in the only practical way she knew. She submitted it because she wanted it documented. She said, "My mother made lists her whole life because she believed things deserved to be written down. She wrote this one down. I want it to be somewhere. The registry keeps it here. It is somewhere. Case file TR-202614-0060 remains open. The Twilight Registry does not close what cannot be explained. Write things down.